Welcome to part three of our series on navigating your corporate career. Part three is intended for senior executives. So let's look at the presentation. And to introduce myself again, I am Christopher Lewis. You'll learn more about me on my LinkedIn page, www.linkedin.com/in/Chris Lewis TT. I have several years' experience at C-suite level across a range of industries, and I hope you find my presentation useful to you today. So session one deals with first steps for senior executives who are new to the position. As a first step, you need to start by gathering information, which of course will be subject to your access to that data, because not all of you will be at the CEO level. Some may be at senior executive vice president levels and so on. And you may not have access to all the information that I'm talking about here in this slide. So depending on your access, you try to gather as much of the data as possible. So I recommend you meet with the chairperson, members of the board, senior management, your department, or the entire staff of the organization if you can. Read outstanding correspondence from customers, employees, the board, state institutions, which will help to give you a lay of the land to understand exactly what is going on at the present time and what may be some of the priorities for you to address. Scan the social media pages of the company, checking for comments from the general public, because these two will be very good indicators. Read the strategic plan if there is one, and any ancillary documents that may go together with the plan, and check for internal consistency to ensure that goals and strategies are aligned with each other. Highlight the key deliverables and the strategy which have been identified thus far. Get a status report on actual performance versus plan. Read your minutes, past board meetings, management meetings, again to understand what are the current issues or which are some of the issues that may be carrying over from period to period. Read current internal audit reports because audit reports are very good at indicating where there may be potential problems within the organization that need to be addressed. Of course, the financial statements, at least for the last 3 years, audited, as well as recent management reports. So once you have gathered all of this data, the next step is data analysis to understand exactly what are the trends, what are the areas of concern that you should note. And by doing detailed data analysis, it will help to guide you as to what are the strategies that you should adopt going forward. So data analysis covers a whole range, which you'll see on the slide. I won't go through all of them, but each element is important, whether it be HR related, whether it be customer service related, or whether it be financial statements and records that you are reviewing and analyzing. It is important to continue doing this level of data analysis throughout your career as a senior executive. As a modern executive, proper timely data is crucial to your success. It helps you to stay ahead of the competition and helps to generate long-term growth and success. Decisions made on hunches or best bets often turn out to be wrong decisions or not optimal decisions. So don't bet the company on a hunch. Use the data, analyze the data, and form your best opinion arising from that data analysis. Don't implement solutions before you know what the problem is. This is a situation you have to try your best to avoid. Developing a solution for a problem and you have not properly defined what the problem is. Be careful and do your analysis to help to guide you. Now, setting priorities can be a challenge because there are so many different sources of priorities. It may come from the board, it may come from strategic plans that have been written, and there are operational plans to follow deriving from the strategic plans. The market may dictate certain priorities based on changes in the competitive environment, or you may develop new priorities based on customer feedback or employee feedback. Or maybe the data analysis may suggest some priorities to you. Very important, the last point, HRIR priorities. This is something that you cannot ignore. HR and IR issues may come up at any time from any source. My advice to you is that once it arises, treat it with urgency because if left to fester, it can be very damaging to yourself, to the company, and generally it's bad for business. So your employees' concerns must be treated with the respect that it deserves. And even though it may not have been on your radar in terms of your strategic plan, for example, it matters a lot to that particular employee or employees, and it's matters that should be attended to right away. Try to get a resolution as best as possible in the best interest of the company and the employees concerned. After the first 2 months, as a senior executive in a new role, your initial outputs may include a 6-month action plan, a data analysis report and recommendations, clear metrics going forward for the year ahead. You may have looked at the organization structure, whether it's for the whole company or your department, and have some recommendations based on how you've seen things working on the ground. There should be a report of strategic plan performance to date, perhaps a new strategic plan outline based on your assessment of the situation, a revamped marketing strategy, and recommended policies and procedures for review. This is the end of session 1. I thank you for viewing, and I invite you to look out for sessions 2 and 3 of part 3 intended for senior executives. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel.